Everything mentioned in this video is linked in the description box below. Go check it out now for more info and exclusive deals. Check out the first link in the description to grab these exclusive items before they're gone. All details and special offers are waiting for you right below.
Hello everyone, it's Michael Jaco with Unleashing Intuition Secrets. So are luciferian billionaires controlling America? We're going to talk about that. And we're also going to talk about, did President Trump manipulate the stock market yesterday, right? When he made a comment about, he basically could just walk away from the Iranian war. And so that sent the futures on the stock market through the roof. And today they went through the roof on a massive scale. And so we'll talk a little bit about that. So, so the billionaires, So I'm just presenting information to you. You can make your own assessments and your own ideas about different things. I just put the information. I've observed these billionaires and these people in political power positions for a great long time up close. All right. So I've been part of protective details where I was protecting them, and I could hear their conversations. I don't repeat their conversations, but I do talk in general terms about what I've seen and heard, and of course, observed from my perspective. Having been in the military at very high levels and in the CIA at very high levels. So, and then as a remote viewer, looking at these things from a different perspective, intuitive, and then in some cases, actually sending energy to these events that are coming, and either lessening them or making them not happen at all. So there is lots of things we're going to discuss. So Obama. So we know that Obama is rubs elbows with the billionaires, right? Of course, Trump does too, because he is a billionaire. But is Obama very rich? So I believe that Obama inherited a lot of wealth when his father, who used to be, I think it's Suharto, who used to be the dictator pretty much in Indonesia. And when he left, and then eventually when he died, he left his wealth to his children, one of those being Obama, right? So when Obama was in the White House, he was probably one of the richest, if not the richest, because Trump has all of his wealth in trust and so forth, but probably one of the richest presidents in history, right? So now the Indonesian thing, I talked about it yesterday, how Indonesia and the head of Indonesia at that time, and probably still to this day, are very, very Nazi-ish, right? They liked Hitler. They met with Hitler, shook hands with Hitler, and then Hitler's granddaughter, whatever, that was Obama's mama, seemed to get around a little bit. And when she was in Africa, she went over and she was Indonesia. She was Indonesia for a while. And Obama.
Everything mentioned in this video is linked in the description box below. Go check it out now for more info and exclusive deals. Check out the first link in the description to grab these exclusive items before they're gone. All details and special offers are waiting for you right below.
When he went to Hawaii for a period of time, went back to Indonesia. So he talks about that in his book, right? So there's lots of speculation, around, whether Obama's mama was, one of Hitler's offspring, right? Or his granddaughter. And so that would make sense that Hitler's granddaughter would hook up with someone that admired and thought very highly of Hitler, right? So all of these elites at these higher levels, luciferians, a lot of them, are very, they like to keep it in the family, right? So keep it in the family. This high end, it's Bill Clinton talks about, he was born in, what was that, Hot Springs, or he lived in Hot Springs. He wasn't born in Hot Springs, but he lived a good portion of his life in Hot Springs. And his daddy was a Rothschild, right? He had a Rothschild daddy. So there's a lot of these, families that, rub elbows together and keep it in the house, keep each other. They have dirt on each other because that's part of the game. That's why we have Jeffrey Epstein and P. Diddy, because these guys like to do very crazy stuff. They like wild sex, and that basically lowers their tolerance for doing things that are quite evil, right? And we've talked about that as far as with children and so forth. So they get videoed, and they know they've been videoed because they have dirt on other people, and other people have dirt on them. So they all have dirt on each other. And that's how, in their minds, they keep each other, within this group, and they don't tattletale, right? So this is some of the things that, we're starting to learn as more information comes out. We're going to reveal. There are people that are revealing incredible information. I'm having them on my shows. So, these guys, hang out together. Like here in this picture, you see Larry Ellison, who is, I think he's the 7th richest man in the world at this time. But in this group, as was, basically revealed by Craig Lund, who wrote Silicon Satan, he says that the Luciferians are really the highest point. The Satanists are basically their puppets, right? Now, again, Obama, here he is hanging out. Of course, he's president of the United States. And is there some kind of, what are they doing? What are they doing here? Because pretty much these people are Luciferians, right? There's great information that collaborates that. So is Obama, part of that group? Well, as we see here, yes. So he's sitting behind Facebook founder that was basically founded by CIA, and that's Mark Zuckerberg to Obama's right. Right across from him is Larry Ellison, whose Oracle got its start from the CIA. All right. So, I've talked a lot about the CIA because I work for the CIA. I was doing good work for the CIA. This is the thing that a lot of these people use, people that like me, that are good people that do good things. And they say, look, we're doing good things. Look at this guy like Mike Jaco. He's former Navy SEAL for 24 years, combat veteran. He works for the CIA, keeping officers safe and so forth, and high dignitaries. He is a great person. And then you're looking at, well, that's what the CIA does. They're they're against our foreign enemies. Nope. Right. So I can tell you, after having worked there for 11 years at, like I said, the highest levels, there is massive, unbelievable manipulation from the CIA. CIA needs to go bye-bye. Right now, will it go bye-bye? We're hearing that a lot of these FBI and the CIA are being basically cleansed and so forth. I'm with a lot of you now. I'll believe it when I see it, right? All right, so now Larry Ellison, like we're saying, I believe that Larry Ellison is a Luciferian. And so
everything mentioned in this video is linked in the description box below. Go check it out now for more info and exclusive deals. Check out the first link in the description to grab these exclusive items before they're gone. All details and special offers are waiting for you right below.
Why is Trump, hanging with him? All right. So as we see here, Trump, Larry Ellison unveil AI project that'll get its start in Texas. All right. So you guys probably remember that. So what is going on? I'm just observing, just like the rest of you. Is Trump playing with the devil? All right. Is he playing with the devil? And he's one of the good guys. All right. Now we're coming up on Good Friday, where Jesus was crucified. Now this is lots of rituals happen during this time by the Luciferians, right? So we're probably going to see some very interesting things are going to happen behind the scenes. Who knows if we'll be able to, see them and talk about them. And then, of course, on Sunday is the resurrection, Easter. So today, like I said, now today was the end of the quarter. So a lot of the companies like Oracle and Facebook and Meta and all these other companies that need to show a profit today, they get to turn around a massive downturn that's been happening in the market over the last several weeks and turn it around almost in one day. Right. So they have to show at every quarter, they have to show, earnings and so forth. So the earnings for these companies, I wanted to say criminal empire, is probably not going to look as bad as it would have. Now, oil prices turned around. President Trump, like I said last night, basically said, yeah, we might even, it might be the end of the war, might just be heading out. And we're not going to we don't care what happens with the Strait of Hormuz. All right. So he said that last night. And of course, the futures went higher, boom, 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 all day long. And then just recently, President Trump says, well, we're probably not going to leave it. So we'll point that out in a minute. But in the meantime, let me point out all the Luciferians and their business. All right. And then the people that are revealing about the Luciferians. Right. So let's look a little deeper at Larry Ellison, the billionaire. Now he owns property here in Lake Tahoe, 2 different resorts. So he just bought up the Hyatt Resort, 422 Hyatt Regency. They're going down all the way down to the water and building more. So he's going to turn this into quite the incredible establishment. He's going to have rooms down by the water, and of course they got a beach down by the water. That's the Hyatts. So he's also bought up this one. It's on the California-Nevada border. It's called Cal Neva Resort and Casino. Now this thing has sat empty for a very, very long time. All right. Other groups have tried to come in and reestablish it. Now this hotel goes way back. It has underground tunnels that go to some of the rooms. Now this is where, we had Marilyn Monroe, JFK, possibly meeting up with each other at Cal Neva. We've had, lots of Hollywood celebrities that went to Cal Neva. And then they just closed it down and just sat empty for, I don't know, decades. So now Larry Ellison has bought it. And I don't know, Frank Sinatra was there. Now we've heard from, some of the people that come on my show that Frank Sinatra was pretty much he handled Marilyn Monroe. All right. I guess kind of like a pimp. And so he farmed her out to different people and so forth. That's a story that we've gotten from Ole Demigard. So Ole Demigard went deep down that rabbit hole. He exposed Cal Neva to me many years ago. I've seen Cal Neva. Of course, I've lived here in Lake Tahoe for many, many years. So I've seen all this stuff, and I wondered at, why it was, closed for so long, but it's going to open soon. So we'll be able to go, and who knows, maybe we can get the room with the underground tunnel to our room, right? So who knows? But Larry Ellison also owns property here, personal property right on the lake, of course, which is, to get something right on the lake on the Nevada side, you have to have tens of millions of dollars on a property right on the lake. Of course, there's other billionaires that are coming and buying. Zuckerberg bought a home here right on the water as well. So a lot of these billionaires are moving to areas that are very spiritual, right? Because they, of course, being Luciferians, they're spiritual in the Luciferian realm, and they tap into the energies of different places, right? So Lake Tahoe is a very, very spiritual place. The Indians that lived here regarded it as very sacred. Of course, they were driven out. They denuded all of Lake Tahoe. They cut all the trees down. It must have been unbelievably beautiful before they cut them all down. And then they just floated those trees down the Tahoe River, and they went down into Carson City, where they took those logs and they split them and turned them into timber for the silver mines. Of course, Nevada is known for its silver. It's a silver state, and so forth. They became very, very wealthy, or at least a lot of billionaires became, even all the way back then, multi-millionaires, probably close to billionaires, but would, in today's money, the money back then, in today's money, they would be among the billionaires that we see today. Now, Larry Ellison, his net worth is around $117 billion. Now, remember, he got his start from the CIA, right? And so did Zuckerberg, who's also a multi-billionaire. And as we're going to talk about, because it seems like these Luciferians have some kind of affection for Hawaii and the Hawaiian lifestyle. And we're going to talk a little bit deeper about that, because Craig Lung talked about it in his book. I'm just an hour away from finishing that book. I told him the last time I did an interview with him that I would read his book and then have him back on. So hopefully we have it back on and go into it. I'll tell you what, guys, if you want to know about these billionaires, these Luciferian billionaires, read Craig's book, right? I'm staggered. I'm staggered. Now, it's supposed to be kind of fiction, loosely, along his life. And it's, when you read it, you're like, it puts a lot of pieces of the puzzle together. It connects a lot of dots, right? And you're going to be stunned at what he reveals. So, wow, it's a wowzer. All right. So now here is the book Silicon Satan. Let me show you the actual book itself. And like I said, I've done a show with Craig, really great, humble guy, very nice gentleman. So we'll have him back on here pretty soon. So Silicon Satan, a software engineer's narrow escape from the Luciferian elite's satanic control over Silicon Valley, right? So, and there's a foreword by Jerome Corsi. He's also done a lot of work, and I'm gonna show you a little clip of these two gentlemen that basically highlights a lot of this. So here is it's about the chilling chronicle of a smart but naively intuitive software engineer's narrow escape from the satanic web of seductive traps and allurements that the Luciferian tech titans of Silicon Valley rely on for power and influence. So I talked about he and his girlfriend in the book. They go through, they're basically seduced by money and power and so forth. This particular character, Rog, is highly intelligent, very much like Craig, right? So they learn quickly that the deeper they get in with the Luciferians, the more power, position, and prestige they are awarded. They also learn that the rituals are the key to all the power. But every time they think that rituals can't get any worse, of course they do, right? So he goes into a lot of detail in the book in some certain areas, right? And so we're going to talk a little bit about some of that stuff. All right, so, but first let's go back to Obama, because Obama is very important, and the Luciferian agenda, of course. And he, as you guys might remember, sent a lot of money to Iran. So another Luciferian, Hitler, because, of course, again, Obama is Hitler's offspring, or either grandson or great-grandson, one or the other. So fact check, did the U.S. under Obama give Iran $150 billion? Of course, with that $150 billion, Iran, pushed its nuclear capability to a very, very close level. Of course, they have a lot of nuclear material right now. They could just basically blast missiles all over the place with this loose uranium, and it's pretty much like a atomic bomb, guys. Once that bomb goes off, it's just going to spread. It could potentially spread uranium just like a nuclear bomb would. All right, relations between the U.S. and Iran worsened this week as Iran's foreign minister said the United States would suffer heavy losses if the Israel-Hamas conflict expanded. All right, so this is a little bit back in time, back in October of 2023. So there was a post on X by Jaco Are, posted in October 16, 2023, referenced Charlie Kirk tweet from September 11, 2015, which stated, Iran funds Hamas. Hamas kills Americans and Jews. Now we give Iran $150 billion. Where do you think that money will go? All right. So Posobiec wrote, Charlie warned us, and now people are mad at him. I guess some people were mad enough that they planned his execution. Of course, my take on that. He was not executed. He went to Valhalla, just like the head of FBI, I can't think of his name, said that I'll see you. Good luck. I don't know if he said, I see you in Valhalla, or, good luck in Valhalla, whatever he said. But basically, I think he's in Valhalla. So I think he's working for Q. A lot of people still believe, some people that are in my circles still believe that Charlie Kirk was assassinated. I'm not one of them. All right. So I think they knew that they were going to assassinate him, and they, just like they did with President Trump, they hijacked the assassination and drove the movie the way they wanted it to turn out. So now the first time that President Trump, when supposedly the bullet nipped his ear, and so that looks like it was Iran that was involved in that. So of course, you would think that President Trump, like he has been doing, would take it to Iran. He has been, and for that, and he even said that. And he even said that if I'm, assassinated by people from Iran, they pay for it or whatever. I hope that the U.S. goes and kicks their ass. All right. So he's basically kicking their ass right now. All right. All right. So former officials said there were 29 billion. So they're saying that, yes, Obama gave them the 150 billion, but it was their money. The question is, if Iran has 150 billion parked outside the country, does the IRGC automatically get 150 billion? Does that 150 billion then translate by orders of magnitude into their capacity to project power throughout the regime. Of course it does, right? And of course it did, thanks to Obama, right? So we also know that there was a pallet of money that was basically sent to Iran because we couldn't wire it, right? Because of, I guess, there's laws that say that we couldn't wire money to Iran, right? So, okay, we can get around that. We'll just take a military plane, fill it up with a pallet full of money, $100 bills and euros and so forth, and we'll send it. The Obama administration paid Iran $400 million in cash as part of a settlement for a failed arms deal from before the 1979 Islamic Revolution, which coincided with the release of 4 American prisoners in Tehran. So they basically were getting these prisoners released, probably, some of those people that were, captured during the Islamic Revolution. So the payment was part of a larger $1.7 billion settlement. And the cash was delivered in pallets on a plane due to U.S. restrictions on wire transfers to Iran. So where did this other, $1.3 billion come from? Well, that was interest. That was interest on the $400 million over all that period of time. Wow. How many of you out there have, paid the IRS a little too much and they gave you a tax return? I guess probably just about everybody in America. Did they pay you interest on the money that you gave them that they kept for a period of time? See, that's what always pissed me off. I'm like, if I owe you money, then, and I don't pay in a certain amount and I haven't paid you, whatever, you're going to charge me crazy interest. But if you hold my money, I don't get any interest from that. It's a shitty system. We're not in the club. All right. So anyway, very, very interesting how that comes in. All right. So here's a little clip from Dr. Jerome Corsi. I don't know why I keep calling Corsi, but Corsi. Jerome Corsi, and basically secret rituals, the darkness underneath the Silicon Valley elite. And of course, this was with Craig Lund. So you guys like that snow coming down behind me? We haven't had snow in like a month. And it's, I don't know how much it's going to stick. We're supposed to get almost a foot of it, right, over the next couple of days. All right. Yeah, the IRS definitely doesn't care about us. So, and it will steal from us. I know it will steal from us any chance that it gets. All right. So let's look at this little clip, and it's an eye opener.
Craig is the author of this new book, which I helped him get into print. It's published by, we just got it into print. It's called Silicon Satan by Craig Lund. And the subtitle is Software Engineers' Narrow Escape from the Luciferian Elite's Satanic Control over Silicon Valley. Now, Craig was a software engineer in Silicon Valley, and he was on the fast track to mega riches, which...
Now, Craig is not going to tell you, and I'm just kind of guessing that he worked with Larry Ellison. And, whoever he worked with, they had obviously an incredible lot of power. And they were very much in touch with Lucifer.
Involved him necessarily becoming part of the Luciferian cult that rules Silicon Valley. And this book tells the truth about what goes on. The rituals, the satanic practices, and the dark lifestyle that you're either going to join in Silicon Valley or you're going to be bypassed. You'll never be a big player if you don't hook into the luciferian nature of what Silicon Valley is all about. And the book's important because, look, a lot of it has to do with sex. A lot of it has to do with drugs and bizarre behaviors, rituals, baby killing and eating for their different blood that they can extract from the babies, feeling fear. And there's lots of just bizarre material in here. But the reason is it's not written to be pornographic, although some of the sections clearly read pornographically. But the point is, we can't defeat this, drive out the satanic nature, and it dominates Silicon Valley, it dominates Hollywood. It's all show business in New York. It's the elites, the moneyed elites, which are into this bizarre pedophilia, this sex trafficking. The P. Diddy's, the Jeffrey Epstein's are only the iceberg of what's really going on. Now, the value of what Craig is, he's experienced it, and he's fictionalized it, but he's laying it all out here. And quite frankly, when you first encounter this book, the first part of it is your first reaction is going to be, I don't know if I can make it through this book. The second reaction is, I don't know if I can put it down, because it's compelling reading.
So that's the truth. If you get through the first chapter, then you and move on, then you'll get through the rest of the book. Now you get the sexual stuff that's going on. Some people, might take offense to that as well, but you'll get through that. And then towards the end of the book is where it goes super deep, all right, into this. And then all the different dots start to get, attached, and the pieces of the puzzle will come together, and you start to see the full picture.
And once you get past, I recommend you keep a Bible nearby when you're reading it. But again, we can't defeat what isn't brought out into the light. And with the Bible,
we can't defeat what isn't brought out into the light. So don't be wussy, right? Get in here and get this book and read this book. It's also I've been listening to it, so you guys know that I don't have a lot of time to read anymore because I do these shows and it takes a lot of time. But I can listen to these books, and I listen to this book, and it's the telling is very good, right? So some of you will want to read it because that's how you get in touch with it. I would love to be able to do that because you get deeper insights. You'll read a little bit, and then you're like, pause a little bit. It's like, oh, okay. And then you read a little bit. So that's good as well, of course. Sometimes I have to pause this. Of course, my wife was listening to it with me, and so I had to like stop it and put my headphones on because she got a little bit crazy. But then eventually she was like, okay, I want to hear it. I was like, okay. So it's tough to like listen to it, guys. But there's lots of evil out there, and to expose this evil, bring it to the light, we have to understand it. All right. Now it's a book, it's fiction, kind of, right? So it's a little bit easier to read and or listen, and pick up what's really going to help us going forward, right? Because we have to expose these people. They're extremely powerful. They have incredible amounts of money. They can manipulate the hell out of everything in our reality, right? So everything, weather, earthquakes, you name it, they have money, they have power to do all this stuff, guys. They're at the heads of most of the governments around the world. Now, Good Friday, again, coming this Friday, Good Friday this Friday. All right. And there is no stock market on Good Friday, right? And so basically what happened today at the end of the month and what happens over the next couple of days will be of interest to me, because I think that things were manipulated so that some of these billionaires made a lot more money. And they've been making, I have been investing almost 50 years in stock market. I've seen a lot of manipulation over the years. It's been very frustrating, especially when you don't intuit which way things are going. And they have manipulated more, I would say, in the last year or so than I've ever seen in my life, right? In the last 50 years. And probably some of you that have been investing are of the same opinion, but it is extreme volatility, extreme manipulation. One day it's up, like today, up crazy. Last 2 weeks it's been down, and been up a day, and then down, up a day, down. And it's up in the beginning of the day, and then it's down big at the end of the day, or it's down beginning of the day and then it's up big. So incredible manipulations on a daily basis. And we're not talking like, moving, a few hundred points in NASDAQ and, Dow Jones. Dow Jones was up over 1,000 points today. Right. And it's been going down, and everybody's like, me included, that it's going to keep going down. There's nothing propping it up until President Trump came out last night and said he's going to leave, right? And then the market took off, right? And he didn't say anything else all day long while the stock market's, getting pumped. Now, what's interesting about this is I saw on Market Watch, because the market was like really getting hammered, Market Watch put out that looks like Trump doesn't have any sway over the market anymore. And I was like, that's a challenge. We'll see what happens. And sure enough, next day he put out that he was going to withdraw, right? So is he setting things up for Good Friday, for Easter, right? So it's a good Easter for everybody. We're going to exchange the eggs and so forth. And, from those ancient Roman and Babylonian mystery schools and so forth, the white bunny, like Hugh Hefner, white bunny, right? And the Matrix, the white bunny, right? So there's a lot of symbology out there that points to some evil deeds, right? Some people are like, and I'm kind of the same opinion. Yeah, it's, used for evil and so forth, but it's what we make of it, right? If we're making something beautiful and good out of whatever this is, all right, then that's the way it is, right? Because that's our focus. So now the Luciferians are going to set us up often to go along with their rituals, right? Because that's the way they like it. They like to put us in fear, and then draw us in and use that fear energy to do what they want. So that's why I say always stay in the love vibration. All right. So the complete list of what billionaires own in Hawaii. All right. And that's very interesting, because there are scenes within this book, Silicon Satan, where it seems like these billionaires like Hawaii and the Hawaiian culture quite a bit, and the samurai culture. So I'm going to talk about how there is throughout, and some of you aren't going to like this, throughout the Pacific Islands, there was cannibalism and violent raping of your enemies. All right. So let's look at, from what Craig said that in his book, and it's of course fiction, so I can't say for sure, but they ascribe to that violence, and they ascribe to that sexual deviance and so forth. All right. All right. So this is from a gentleman that basically put together this list, updated this year. The numbers behind the billionaire land grab are staggering, and his take on this, because I believe he's Hawaiian, is that they're basically, when they take, every acre they take is an acre that doesn't go to the locals, right? So just 37 billionaires now control more than 218,000 acres of Hawaii. That's 11% of all private land in the state. I've watched this unfold for over 30 years on Oahu, and the acceleration since 2020 still catches me off guard. All right. So who's there? Who are the top people? Larry Ellison literally bought an entire island for $300 million in 2012. Wow. Wonder what he's going to do on that island. Luciferian stuff. All right. Mark Zuckerberg, another Luciferian, Kauai compound has become a fortress. So 700-acre purchase on Kauai's North Shore for about $100 million. So by mid-2025, he'd quietly added another 962 acres for another ranch land for over $65 million. So $165 million with 2,300 acres. Of course, he's building an underground bunker system. 6-foot perimeter walls blocking the view from the road, security guards monitoring the entrance around the clock, more than 20 surveillance cameras in some buildings, every worker bound by strict enforced NDAs. Now, I can tell you that I've talked to people that have gone into some of these mansions, billionaire mansions down here on the Lake Tahoe waterfront. And of course, I don't talk about people that have NDAs and who they are and what places they went in, but they've said some very interesting things. And there are some interesting things they have to. Why would you, if you're a worker that's doing, I'm not going to say exactly what, because I give away probably some of the people that were revealing, but why would you have people that come in to do contract work on your property sign NDAs? All right. So very interesting, right? So anyway, we go down the list. Oprah, of course. Maui holdings are way bigger than most people realized. Owns more than 2,130 acres. Of course, you know, she's into pedophilia and all kind of crazy stuff. And we've seen her with ankle bracelets on. That seems to be where she's being monitored, but she's not in prison. So I don't, whatever. So she's, you know, spent a lot of money on all of her property. Of course, she's got a lot of money because she is in with all these guys that do this stuff. So I really, you know, it pisses me off every time, you know, people talk about, you know, how, you know, black people don't have options and so forth. They say that we're racist because we being, I don't know, whoever the Democrats want to call racist, because we're not allowing, you know, these blacks and Hispanics and so forth to have, you know, options. But we have Oprah, and we have, if you look at the top earning people in sports, almost all of them are black, right? So, you know, these are the things they bullshit us with and control us with, because some people are like, oh yeah, we're racist, so we need to just be we need to just shut up and not say anything, right? Bullshit, right? Jeff Bezos, of course, owns tons. Steve Case controls more land than almost anyone else. And they're getting it from, look at this. He went to Panahu School, same as Barack Obama, right? Yeah, right. Case now owns approximately 57,400 acres across the islands, right? He has a 35,170 acre grow farm on Kauai. So they want to make sure they have plenty of food during the coming problems that are, I guess, they're causing. Right? They're going to, put us into all these problems. That's what I believe they want to do. All right. So, it goes on and on. Zuckerberg, Mark Benioff's big on his buying spree. Started Salesforce CEO, built a $25 million beachside mansion 20 years ago. But since 2020, he's been on quite a buying spree. 600 total acres across 29 parcels. Other billionaires reshaping Hawaii right now. Kamehameha School. Kamehameha was supposed to be for islanders, but they sold nearly $1 billion in land in 2025 alone. All right. Peter Thiel, PayPal co-founder, paid $27 million for 1.7 million acre property on Maui. Frank Vandersloot owns 2,000 acres Kauai, and on and on and on. So what this actually means for regular people living here, people who are born and raised here can't afford to live here anymore. And of course, they're burning the place and all that kind of stuff. So there's some very shifty things afoot on Hawaii. All right. So let's look a little bit deeper at Larry Ellison, who seems to be the grand poobah of the luciferian, billionaire elite. How did he get his start? And Larry Ellison considers himself a samurai. He bought like this massive yacht, and he names it Musashi after the samurai Musashi Miyamoto. So again, Pacific Islanders, like I said, extremely violent, right? Samurai cutting heads off. We see that in movies all the time. In Guadalcanal, during World War II, the Marines were, dropped off in Guadalcanal, and I guess the fleet thought that, and they were supposed to support them while they cleared the island. But the fleet got wind, or thought they found out that the Japanese were on their way with their big battleships. So they hightailed it out and left the Marines there. So the Marines fought the Japanese. Brutal samurai type stuff where they would, just all frontal assault them. The Marines would machine gun them. I was reading an account in Guadalcanal where one of these Japanese officers had a samurai sword and swung it, and it cut the barrel of a machine gun in half. Cut it, right? These were crazy swords. Now, you can go to Japan and buy some of these samurai swords, but you're looking at a minimum $1 million because of the way they forge these swords. Is like unbelievable. They fold it and hammer it and fold it, put it in the fire, fold it, and it becomes extremely sharp, sharp enough to cut through steel, right? So steel cutting through steel, right? So amazing. So of course the Marines were there for, I don't know, a couple months or something like that. They were built airfield and always under fire from the Japanese. Japanese obviously trying to drive them off. The Marines stood their ground and held, and Marines lost a lot of people as well. But they got an airfield built. Corsair fighters came in and started to help them fight off the Japanese, and then they finally made a firm foundation. Of course, then they went on to Iwo Jima, and that's where that beautiful flag comes from, where those guys went up to the top. Now, they actually were asked to go back for the filming, and I guess when they walked back down, like a couple of them were actually killed by Japanese that were in tunnel systems. And so some of those guys you see raising the flag that we see all the time, Iwo Jima, a couple of them were killed. And then unfortunately, one or two of them were severe alcoholics after that. So very, very rough life, very rough life going against these Japanese who were extremely brutal guys, right? So Larry Ellison sees himself as a samurai.
our idea because we had no software.
So all the things that you would read in books of somebody being a leader, he wasn't. But he was tenacious. He would never give up on anything.
Ellison chased and cajoled customers, becoming the company's chief evangelist.
There was nobody better than Larry at making a business person, making a customer believe that he could change that person's business life with his product.
Knowing they still needed a smarter solution for the monumental task of managing world.
There was nobody better than Larry at making a business person.
Author Mike Wilson. The difference between God and Lucifer and Larry Ellison, right?
Making a customer believe that he could change that person's business life with his product.
Knowing they still needed a smarter solution for the monumental task of managing worldwide intelligence, Ellison sold his database to the CIA, his first customer. He called the new software Oracle version 2.
There was no version 1 because everyone thought, well, no one buys version.
So there you go. That's how Oracle got its start, from the CIA, right? And of course, Facebook, CIA, right? When I was in the CIA, they told us, stay off Facebook. Right? So why? Because they're gathering information, right? So Larry Ellison named his super yacht, $130 million super yacht, Musashi, right? Who was a samurai, a well-known samurai, Book of Five Rings. So here it is. Wow. That CIA money is good, right? It's really good. Gathering databases, which the CIA wanted on everybody, is what Larry Ellison helped them do. So it is very interesting. So again, Larry Ellison thinks he's samurai. I've heard that there's like this one, someone that's been to his office. You go down this long corridor, and like there's this samurai, like these boxes went with glass, and inside are in these glass cases are samurai armor and swords and all kind of crazy stuff. So he and a lot of other tech billionaires love the ideal of the of course the samurai, and the islanders, Pacific Islanders, which I'm going to go in a little bit more detail about. They were very violent, still are, right? And lots of raping their enemies, and then cannibalizing their enemies, right? So we'll talk a little bit about that. Of course, that is something that these elite like to do, right? So there are some lots of stuff coming from the sky. Probably some of you guys have seen it, but if not, you need to be aware of it. And we're going to bring on Stefan Burns, who's always on top of this stuff. So let's look at what's going on in the skies.
March in 2026, we're seeing now like a 300% increase in fireball sightings, perhaps even more. The prior records for NASA, and they only list the fireball sightings that have more than 100 reports for them, is 6 per month. And this data goes back to 2018, January. Right now, we're sitting at 11, and they only also count the fireball reports for the United States. You also have multiple fireball sightings over Europe now, even across other parts of the globe, New Zealand, other places. It's all coming in. Fireballs. These are not just even the normal shooting star or even a little bit bigger. We're like, oh, wow, that was really interesting. Start to see some color. These are long-lived events, really flashing, lighting up the sky, being visible during the day. And what we have seen, based on the data by the American Meteor Society, is that most of these large fireballs are coming in from the anti-solar direction, so from an anthelian source. So the opposite side of the sun, meaning that in general, they're coming in at night. And so if you have the sun here and you have the earth, they're coming in from the other side. Well, as I've been talking about for months now, we are right now passing closest to the path that interstellar object 3I Atlas took through the inner solar system back during its perihelion, its closest approach to the sun, around the end of October of 2025. It was super active with jets and all this stuff. If you follow the story on 3I Atlas, you're well aware of all the anomalies. We were talking about for a long time, even before that perihelion, about how it could produce debris that if it's then pulled into the sun by some mechanisms known and unknown, that we could enter into a potential debris field. Well, it looks like we're seeing that. Now, something else that people have been mentioning is this satellite warfare that's occurring up in space? Because, well, we have these new conflicts breaking out, and there's probably covert satellite warfare that's occurring. And I don't necessarily discount that, but we do see a difference between meteors coming in and satellite junk coming in, and also re-entry debris from space labs and rockets and more. So we can see a classic example of some space junk here. This was filmed over Florida. This is a re-entry of something quite large. I think it was like a Chinese rocket, some of the pieces there. But in general, satellite re-entry debris is quite slow compared to meteors, and also it comes in at a low.
So what could this these meteor showers mean? You know, the dinosaurs were destroyed by meteor showers. So now I don't think that 3I Atlas left enough junk in its wake to really, you know, cause massive, you know, calamities. But we have to be aware that maybe there's some big chunks that could cause some, you know, tsunamis or earthquakes if they hit, you know, setting off volcanic activity. Who knows? All right. So just to be aware, and maybe some of you guys are going to see some of that. So Trump may end war without reopening Strait of Hormuz. So this is, like I was telling you guys, this is what came out last night. So I was watching the because I keep tabs on the stock market. So I was watching the futures, and the futures turned around and went zoom upwards. Right, they were down pretty hard, hundreds and hundreds of points on the Dow, and almost a couple hundred points on the Nasdaq. So they were going to be down pretty hard probably the next day. Oil was going up, and like I say, oil goes up, stock market goes down. So Trump may end Iran war without reopening Strait of Hormuz. He put this out, and the stock market turned around. Futures turned around, went up big. They opened, they gapped up, and they stayed up, and they pulled back a little bit. And I was like, okay, is that it? Because oil was going up. And then magically, oil got hammered down on the last day of the quarter. Oil has been doing really good. So probably there were some people that had big positions in it, and they're like, well, we can hammer this down and the stock market is going to go boom. Because I said, when this Iran war ends and the Strait of Hormuz is opened, you will see the stock market take off. All right. And you will also see oil go down, and that'll be good for everybody. And you'll also see silver and gold go up. So silver and gold went up today. Now, one of the reasons why, of course, short position covering from the big banks has kept the precious metals down, but also there's a lot of debt out there, guys. And I've talked about the bonds that are out there that are ready to destroy our economy and the economy of the world on a level 50 to 100 times more violent than what almost happened in 2008, where they told us that there was a period of time when Lehman Brothers basically collapsed, that all the other banks thought that they were going to collapse too. So they interjected, the government interjected, the manipulators interjected, the market, there's market manipulators that come in every time there's major market downturns, probably what happened today. And they turned it around big time. So Trump did that. So when Trump did that and I saw that, I'm like, oh, so I guess that Market Watch comment they made, and then you come out and say that, and the market turns around, it was going to be down bigly, and you turned it around by your comment, which I can tell you is bullshit. Right? So he bullshitted the market, and the market went big. All right, it went big because we're not pulling out of Iran. It's not happening. All right, there's work to do there, and he knows that. But I guess the market needed something for the end of the quarter, right? So Trump, I guess, helped him out. And before the market ended yesterday, it was down big. It was like going into the close, it was like going down like crazy. And then for the last like 10, 20 minutes or so, it completely turned around and went up, boom, boom, boom. So somebody came in and bought it like they knew something was coming, right? Like they knew something was going to turn around. So the market closed, and then a bunch of people came in. It's like, there's nothing going on. Why did people come in and buy this market? Like they hammered it back down in the futures, hammered it back down. And then, of course, like I said, Trump came in and said, oh yeah, we'll probably just leave. And then the market took off all day long from last night until today, right? All right, and then Trump comes out and says, U.S. isn't withdrawing quite yet. All right. But allies must come in and take care of Strait of Hormuz. All right. So, you know, he's the master of bait and switch, and says one thing and then says another very soon after that. So you never know. You never know where it's going. But I can tell you, somebody knew that he was going to come out and say that things were going to turn around. Somebody knew, because they came in and bought that market at the bottom big. And then he came out, turned it around, and it was up massively all day long. And it seemed to be having a little problem because, like Mike says, if oil goes up, stock market goes down. So oil was like, it had been knocked down, but it was like inch by inch, it was coming back. And then all of a sudden, it just got hammered. So it was a miracle. It's a miracle. And then the market went straight up. Wow. All right. So market manipulation. Who benefited? Billionaires. Because there's a lot of companies that were down hard. Tesla, Elon Musk. Now, we didn't see Elon Musk in that shot. And Elon Musk doesn't own any property that I know of in Hawaii. So, or at least Elon Musk 2.0 doesn't, right? Because I believe that's 2.0, right? So that's my thoughts, and I'm sticking with it. All right, so Donald Trump comes into Truth Social today, or maybe it was a little bit, maybe yesterday, some of it. Let me look at it again. So right here. So it's 12 hours ago. Says all of those countries that can't get jet fuel because of the Strait of Hormuz, like the United Kingdom. So is Trump coming in to destroy the city of London? I believe so. Right. So, I mean, we can look at Trump when we go, are you with those guys or you're not? Are you with them or you're not? Because you play back and forth like you are and then you're not. So who knows? All right. So anyway, now if we go back to before the election, you know, if he hadn't gotten elected, he'd probably be in jail for the rest of his life. His empire would be destroyed, and probably many of his children, his sons and daughter, probably all of them be in jail too. So I don't know. I don't think that he's part of their club. Maybe he is. Maybe he plays along like he is. I don't know, guys. But anyway, so he goes on and says, like the United Kingdom, which refused to get involved in the decapitation of Iran, I have suggested for you, number one, buy from the U.S. The U.S. is the number one producer of oil now. The number one. Close, not even close second, really, is Russia, and then Saudi Arabia. All right, so we're number one. From the shale and all that kind of stuff, that it's a revolution that happened with the shale. Of course, Obama, not Obama, well, maybe a little bit of Obama, but definitely Biden tried to come in and shut it down. Remember, he shut down the pipeline and just started pulling oil from the strategic oil reserves that Trump had filled up, so we could keep the price of oil down. While they're planning, I think, for Iran to basically shock the world. So Trump came in and turned that around. All right. So number two, he says, build up some delayed courage. You know, what does my friend Scott say? Something about the female organ. All right. So sexual organ. So wimp toast peas. All right, that's what he says. I'm not gonna. He'll say it right out loud, but anyway, go to the straight and just take it. You'll have to learn. You have to start learning how to fight for yourself. The USA won't be there to help you anymore, just like you weren't there for us. Iran has been essentially decimated. The hard part is done. Go get your own oil. President DJT. Right. I like it. I like that kind of talk. So talk from a position of strength, and he does that very well. All right. So close that window. There you go. All right. So let's look at the market. Now, the market, like I said, was up ridiculously. It's like, holy smokes, that's friggin' unbelievable. Right. So who engineered this? Come on. But regardless, here you go. We have, let's go to the full chart of crude oil. Now, of course, crude oil, like you see here, like I talked about, got knocked down. And then the stock market went, woo. So all morning, it was going up, 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 up. And they came in. They had bought on Trump's words that, you know, things were going to change, but nothing had really changed. Nothing, right? And so the stock market was up pretty good, but it started to pull back a little bit as we saw the oil start to creep up to its all-time highs again for WTI. And then look at that. Look at that long red down. Right. So it went down and it went down and it went down. So now what is it doing? It's going back up. No one's manipulating it. So you see a little green thingy? It's going up to that Bollinger Band at the height. Right. So tomorrow will we see oil back up to its highs? Again, I think it's possible. Or maybe they'll come in and they'll just knock it down. So everybody will have a nice Easter. All right. Good Friday and a good Easter. And then it'll go down after that. I don't know. But regardless, there's massive manipulation like I've never seen before. And I've seen some pretty good manipulation in my time. All right. So Bitcoin, rose, Ethereum, XRP rose from their lows. They were almost ready to shit the bed, right? So were stocks. Stocks were right at, when they closed, before somebody came in and pumped the market up at the end, as they were moving, they were getting close to the point where it was a point of no return, right? The stock market was going to really, really go down bigly, right? So, you know, Trumpster came in and rescued it. So can we thank him, or should we be like, well, who did you help? Did you help us, or did you help the billionaires, right? He definitely helped the billionaires. There's no question about that. Look at Tesla, up almost 5%. NVIDIA up almost 5.5, was up over 5.5. Microsoft up, Meta up bigly, right? Over 6%, almost 7, on and on and on. So the good thing about this is silver. Silver was up and still is going up, as you guys can see here. It's up a little bit more, but it was up over 7%. It was up about, I think $5 or $6, maybe a little bit more. And gold was up. All the metals are up big today. And like I said, if the stock market goes up, you're going to see gold and silver go up. Now, you would think that gold, because that's a safe haven with this war in Iran and, you know, oil prices skyrocketing, they're still up high and they're still moving up high as we're speaking. But you would think that gold would have been, everybody would have been bonkers over gold, which normally happens in history. The reason it didn't is, like I'm trying to warn everyone, is we're right on the precipice of a collapse of the system, complete and utter collapse on a level, like I said, it's never been seen before. So maybe it happened during the fall of Rome, and I don't know, fall of Egypt and the fall of Persia in the past. I wonder where the rich people like hid their gold and silver and all that stuff. It's probably still hidden away. They probably got, you know, massacred or something. So they hid it away, and it's still hidden away. All right. I've always been wanted to be a treasure hunter, but I was told by a psychic that that's not for you. You're supposed to be here to help people. Right? I'm like, but that would help me, and I could help more people. Right? So I don't know. We'll see. Maybe God will reward me, but in the meantime, I think he does. I mean, look where I'm living. It's beautiful. And I have all you magnificent people, you know, to hang out with and chat with. All right. So chat is, I can see you guys are chatting it up, but I'm deep into revealing. So sometimes I don't look at the chat because I know there's people in there taking care of it. So, all right. So here is Michelle Melendez from Blossom Inner Wellness. She's a beautiful soul trying to help awaken people like I am. I've had her on many shows. She's written really good books. She's exposed the evil that's going on in Hawaii. And this is what she says.
Island with standtogetherhawaii.com and Blossom Inner Wellness. And I just want to say there was thousands of people on all the islands. Well, I know Hilo side, Kona side on Big Island, Oahu, protesting no kings, no dictators. And I'm sorry to say, but what a bunch of hypocrites. We have an amazing dictator and king here in Hawaii called Governor Green. And where are all these thousands of people that are protesting Trump, something we really don't have power over, instead of protesting our own Hawaii governor, who has signed over 90 emergency proclamations, suspended hundreds of laws without the legislative body.
So I don't know. I think he's doing it for the billionaires, right? He was put there by the billionaires probably, and he's doing what they want him to do. That's what I think. He's definitely a baddie, right? And at some point, will he be held accountable? So you have to look at all those billionaires too, right? This is tough going. We're in a tough situation here. Now, again, why are we supporting some of these people? I don't know, because there's still a lot of violence in Hawaii, right? As you guys are going to see from this clip. Now, this is basically in Waikiki. One gentleman, I don't know what he was thinking, but he decided to dress up as an ICE agent. He's not an ICE agent, or at least that's what we've heard. We haven't heard that he is, so I don't think he is. He wouldn't be out there by himself like this with a bunch of knuckleheads like this. But these people go really, really violent on him. So let's watch. So this is the culture, I believe, of Hawaii, the people of Hawaii. So they initially threw a drink at him. He basically, as you saw, he reacted. He withdrew from being soaked. Again, he probably got a little bit on him. And then he comes back, right? So this pretty big guy, but obviously he's not a fighter against a group of people like I would be, but I wouldn't put myself in this situation. So it looks a little cocky there, you know. He's like, "What are you going to do?" And I don't know what the conversation is going on, but obviously, these look like locals to me. They're not very happy with him. So this happens a lot within some of these cultures, where if you're not one of them, and this is the way of many liberals, if you're not one of them, they're going to get violent with you, right? And I know a lot of you have told me that you have, you know, people within your family that are, you know, kind of violent against you, you know, verbally and sometimes physically, right? As you're going to see here, they get very physical, and this is the way of the Pacific Island cultures, right? They're very violent. Like I talk about the samurai, Japanese island, obviously Pacific Island, and their cultures are very, very violent, right? Now, of course, not all of them. Some people are very spiritual, very beautiful. There's very beautiful things in the Hawaiian culture, but there's definitely some problems too, and that's why the elite like Hawaii. All right, so you see this girl is kicking him, and he goes unconscious for a little bit. Now the guy that's got him in a headlock, he gets one of her feet once, and that's kind of funny to me. But now watch. Now this guy's like hammering him. She's kicking. Violent people. Okay, right here he's unconscious. All right. So a little, it's not everywhere, of course, but pretty violent culture. And I spent time in a lot of those islands, and they don't like white people, haoles, as they call us. Now, once you become friends with them, they're very, very giving. They're very beautiful people, right? But if you're not one of them, and if you're against them, it's not going to be good for you, right? So just like you saw there. So in the past, what has it been like? And why, again, would the elite, the Luciferian elite, want to be in Hawaii on the level that they are there, right? So some say they're trying to escape, the California and the taxation, but there, I think, are definitely some other reasons. So rape culture, this is from the University of Utah, Gender-Based Violence Consortium. Rape culture and sexual violence in Pacific Islander communities, an oral history project. So you're not going to find this normally online. It's just basically, it's covered up because who owns the online chats and everything, guys? That's the Silicon Valley guys, right? So gender and sexual violence within the U.S. Tongan diaspora communities is often a taboo topic. So they're not going to discuss it. But this goes way back. And they would brutally rape their enemies, men and women. Once they defeated the men, they would come in and rape the children and the women, right? And then they would cannibalize them because they wanted their power. And we'll talk about that in a second. But this is something that is or was very indicative. It still is, unfortunately. There's still a problem with a rape culture in Pacific Islands, often against family members, right? So, I mean, this is something that happens all around the world. It's not just Pacific Islanders. But again, remember the Luciferian elite and what they like. They like radical sex. They like violent sex. They like to control and manipulate people like they did with us during the COVID lockdown, right? And like they did with those of us that are trying to expose the Luciferian, people of Silicon Valley, basically shut a lot of us down on X, on YouTube, and so forth. So that's part of their culture. So they're attracted to peoples in areas that still have that. Now, I think it's very hidden within the Hawaiian culture and some of these other cultures, but it still exists, right? And that's what, we may find out. Once you expose some of this stuff to light, as I found out over and over again over the last several decades when I exposed things like this, then the information starts to flood out. And I wouldn't be surprised if we start to see this information flood out. Now, Hawaiian cannibalism, and it was a real thing, right? Now, some people don't want to say that it was a real thing, but were ancient Hawaiians cannibals? Question: yes, right? Evidence and tradition suggest ancient Hawaiians, ancient. Is there still a culture there? I believe there is, very hidden. Ancient Hawaiians practice a form of ritualistic cannibalism, primarily consuming parts of slain enemies or chiefs to absorb their mana, their power, or for religious reasons, though it wasn't widespread everyday eating. So they weren't cannibals just to be cannibals and eat each other, right? They did it to eat the energy of the people that were their enemies and their children and their wives and so forth, right? Very much like the Luciferians, right? Right? You guys starting to see the tie-ins to all this? I know it's very hard for a lot of you. Probably a lot of people have already checked out, but it is something that we have to do. You want this stuff to go away. You want to defeat the Luciferians. You have to know your enemy. Know thy enemy, right? All right. So some traditions deny it, attributing it to foreign influence, or specific legendary figures like Chief Man-Eater. The most famous example involves Captain Cook's body, where flesh was removed from bones for ritual, not consumption as food. But again, so is this a manipulation of history? Because it sounds like in in this article and other stuff that I've read is they wanted to consume the flesh of their enemies to take their power. So why wouldn't they consume Captain Cook? Because they definitely killed him and chopped him up, right? That's known because his crew reported it. Mana absorption, consuming parts of a brave warrior, was thought to transfer his strength and bravery to the eater. Captain Cook incident. After Cook's death in 1779, his body was dismembered. There's no question about this. They dismembered it. That's pretty violent and brutal, right? Flesh was cooked off the bones for ritualistic purposes. Not as a meal. Oh, no, not as a meal, right? So you look this up and there's going, no, that's all bullshit. Captain Cook wasn't cannibalized, all right? Okay, all right. Leading to rumors of cannibalism. Now, why is it rumors of cannibalism when, yes, they had a tradition of ritualistic cannibalism, consuming parts of a slain enemy, but not Captain Cook, all right? So lack of proof versus legend. Scholars like Martha Beckwith noted a lack of concrete proof. She wasn't there. She didn't see it, right? For widespread cannibalism, but acknowledge the persistent legends. Not for sustenance. Hawaii. Now we know that the Luciferian elite are cannibals. We know that. We know they consume the flesh. They show us. We've seen what's that, Maria Abramovich. Thank you, Tracy. That basically, she's in the background sometimes, and sometimes I can rely on her to like help me through some parts. So Maria Abramovich. So they've done these. Oh, it's just cake, and it's not real. And they'll have a real person like at the head, and then they come in, they slice off the body, and they eat the body, like blah 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 blah. Right. So, and then we've had these shows where there's people that are saying, okay, you've eaten 3 different meats. One of them was from a cow, one of them was from a pig, and one of them was from a human. And everybody's like, what? Yes, you ate human flesh. That was in a show, right? And we know that there's restaurants out there that, they claim that they're, human flesh, but they're just kidding. It's like not really human flesh. And we've heard, rumors about McDonald's having some of that in it, all kind of crazy stuff, right? I don't know if it's true. I haven't done the studies on it. Some people have, and they say it's true. And I don't know. But it seems like some of this stuff could be true, right? Because there's so many people reporting on it. But, multiple lies does it make things real or true, right? Mockingbird Media, telling us all kind of crazy stuff. But is it true, or is it they're trying to take us off point? I think they're trying to take us off point. I think there's a lot of truth to this, but that's just my opinion. Not for sustenance. Hawaiians generally preferred fish in other foods. Consuming human flesh was not for hunger, but for spiritual or martial purposes, according to this blog post from Dawlish Chronicles. All right. In essence, while not a common dietary practice, evidence points to ritualistic cannibalism in ancient Hawaii, often tied to warfare, power, and specific cultural beliefs. All right. So Craig Lund had a section of this in his book. And I was like, what? And then I started doing the research like you just saw, and it's real. It's true. Now there's people that are like, well, Hawaiians weren't really cannibals. It was like all the other islands. Okay. All right. Why was Hawaii different? When there's like, evidence that it wasn't. And why do the elite like that place so much? Why do they like it so much? Right? I don't know. They want to get involved with it, I think. All right. Now, we know this is good against evil. All right. God-loving peoples against Lucifer, right? So now where does this Luciferian stuff come from? It comes from everywhere, right? Even the Pope, right? Even the Pope. And we know this. There's so much reveal that's going on about Catholic priests being pedophiles. It's out of control, right? So listen to what this person asked Caroline Levy.
You said yesterday, and I quote him, God does not listen to the prayer of those who wage war. Can you?
All right. So the Pope is saying God does not listen to the prayers of those who wage war. So again, we're back to that Hitler stuff, right? And the way Hitler and Obama and all those people basically are Luciferians, and they had that dark energy, and they pushed that energy, and then they came into the Muslim side, and there's dark energy there, of course, too. So the Pope didn't the Catholic Church, like during medieval times, have lots of crusades? Was it okay back then to, kill your enemy for God? But it is not now. Why wouldn't it be now? Why wouldn't it be now? Right? Unless the Pope is in bed with the Luciferian Islamists, right?
I think our nation was a nation founded 250 years ago almost on Judeo-Christian values. And we've seen presidents, we've seen the leaders of the Department of War, and we've seen our troops go to prayer during the most turbulent times in our nation's history. And I don't think there's anything wrong with our military leaders or with the president calling on the American people to pray for our service members and those who are serving our country overseas. In fact, I think it's a very noble thing to do. And if you talk to many service members, they will tell you they appreciate the prayers and support from the commander-in-chief and from his cabinet.
All right. So we're going to see the Luciferian agenda come from many different angles, right? We have to stand up to it, and we have to stop it. And one of those ways is through prayer, like Caroline Levy was talking about. And another way is to, have your own connection with God. There are good churches out there. There are good, I guess, mosques out there. I don't know. But every religion, is founded on some principle of, connection with God. And then there's where they come in and basically sabotage it, right? Everything is, open to sabotage from Lucifer, the great deceiver, right? So there's many that have been deceived. Of course, there's many beautiful souls out there that help people and so forth. We have Leo Zagami on. He talked about, how the Catholic Church is helping to do away with through exorcisms and so forth, do away with a great rash throughout the world, not just in America, but throughout the world, demons that are really playing havoc, right? I believe that the COVID-19 vaccination program was part of, allowing demons to basically inhabit souls, unfortunately, push the souls out. So we're having a massive, because we had worldwide vaccination program, and that allowed some problems with the body that allows the demons to basically come in and take over. So there's lots to do. There's lots to learn, and working together, regardless of who's in charge, is always still we the people. Even though they have bamboozled us for a very long time in believing, or trying to make us believe, that the government should have control. They're going to make everything right, make everything good. That has not been the case, right? But we have to pick. We have to be very choosy. We have to be very observant and always question everything, right? So I believe it is 250 years of bullshit. So there's been some of that. Yeah, absolutely. So, the City of London, of course, has been, in charge of us for a long time. So you could correctly say that 250 years of bullshit, because we haven't been independent. I believe that we have been under control. Look at the War 1812. Look at the bar, the British Accredited Registry of Lawyers. It's a mess. It's a mess, guys. And the Civil War, the British were very much involved in that. 1871, basically, we stopped being a republic and became a corporation, right? So we need to get back to the republic, one nation under God, right? In liberty and for truth and justice for all. So I should probably not try and say it. Sounds like I never learned it, and I always just follow along with everybody else. I'm like, oh yeah, that's words. So maybe if I sing it, Star Spangled Banner and I don't know, all that stuff is even the Star Spangled Banner, there's like some stuff about that. So where they're compromising us through that song, that music and song. It's like, wow. It's like, is anything like sacrosanct? I don't think so. I don't think so. We have to look at everything. And again, when we, sing the Star Spangled Banner or say the Pledge of Allegiance, we're doing it from our heart through love for our country, for each other, and so forth. So even if there is, some nasty, stuff in there, for a higher purpose, we're tapping something greater, right? But if we do learn that there is some compromise in some of this stuff, which of course there is across the board, then we need to clean it up. We the people. It's not going to come from the government. The government's that's like going to the mafia and telling them, I'm getting robbed by these guys, these mafia guys. Could you help me out? It's like, oh yeah, we can help you out. And so that's the way the government is too, for the most part, right? CIA, FBI, it's a mess. It's a mess, guys. IRS, Federal Reserve, banksters. We got a mess. Is there any Congress person or any senator that's like good? I don't know. I see they're all shit, all of them. So we got a real mess to clean up. But I'm good with that. I'm ready. How about you guys? Ready to clean house? We got to do it. It's coming. All right, Luciferians, are we going to allow them to win? I don't see it happening, right? But they do have a lot of control, and they are manipulating things quite a bit, and they seem to have a lot of influence still with President Trump. So we have to clean it all up, all of it, right? Okay, guys, lots of love. Stay in the love vibration, and I'll see you guys next time.